Incompetent?
I mean, if you didn't know,
everybody knows.
Didn't, Matt.
Listen to these words. Listen to how. What the?
So you were only 21,997,000 off. But you mix up CISA, CISA, a Homeland Security agency, with the Center for Internet Security, the CIS, which is a non-profit. In fact, you added an A to CIS. I think people can see it there in brackets. To make that false claim. It's just error after error, Matt, on just this one topic. Here you are. What is your view? There it is. There it is. Look.
Oh, no.
To him. Matt Taibbi, a National Magazine award-winning journalist who runs the Racket News Substack and broke the so-called Twitter files story, joins me now. Matt, thanks so much for coming on the show.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Why do you believe these Twitter files are so important, and what should our viewers know about what's in them that they don't know? Just briefly, your top lines.
First of all, I never said anything about woke McCarthyism, so do you want to take that back?
I didn't put that in quotes. I said a so-called woke McCarthyism. Jim Jordan has also talked about that, and that was a line into Jim Jordan. But happy to say that you haven't described it as McCarthyism. You've described it, I think, as a digital censorship complex. A digital, sorry, industrial...
I said digital McCarthyism, not woke McCarthyism.
Okay, digital McCarthyism. We can correct that, yes.
Okay, good. So you started off, as I expected, with the whole what happened to you, man, routine. Well done.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this
guy does not sound media ready.
The stories speak for themselves. I don't have to talk about how important or not they are. The audiences are interested in them because of what they show. That there was an organized, systematic structure in place for the FBI and the DHS to talk not just to Twitter and to forward thousands of moderation requests to companies like Twitter, but also to virtually every other social media platform. This is essentially an organized system of quasi-state censorship, and it's alarming. It's a lot more than what we thought was going to be there. And again, people are just looking at what we found. We don't have to make claims about it. They're upset about it because of what they're reading.
Well, not everyone's upset, and you do make claims, so let's talk about that today. And Matt, we're going to disagree a lot today. You've already started with disagreement, so let's start with some agreement. Should the FBI be wasting so much time and taxpayers' money flagging so many tweets to Twitter? In my view, no. Does the FBI have far too cozy a relationship with social media companies? Yes, I agree. But do your files provide evidence of government censorship? I don't think so. Let's just take the very first example you cited in the very first thread, which went mad viral. You wrote, by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team. The reply would come back, handled. Now, that sounds bad, but aside from the fact that the Biden team was not the government at the time, it turns out that at least 3, maybe 4 of those 5 tweet URLs that you linked to, that they link back to non-consensual nude images of
the Hunter Biden pics. I think these were the ones that we looked up on stream because I was curious, because that is a spooky point. Are they making requests to take down like conservative media stuff? And then when I looked up most of them, it was just Hunter Biden cock.
Biden. Why was it wrong, Matt, for the Biden campaign, not the government at the time, to ask Twitter to enforce its own terms of service against people basically posting revenge porn? Do you understand why people question your credibility on this whole project when you omit such crucial context right from the get-go?
First of all, the reason that's important is because the ordinary person can't just call up Twitter and have something taken off Twitter. If you put something nasty about me on Twitter, I can't just call up Twitter and talk to the government liaison, whose name I won't mention on the air, and say, hey, can you take care of this? And have them take care of that. That doesn't work for the ordinary person.
So, firstly, huge goalpost movement. He's saying for the ordinary person. That is correct. Well, the ordinary person can report, but they don't have direct lines. However, this has nothing to do with government preference. Large talent agencies, large organizations, probably media, probably people with verified account liaisons and shit, people that communicate with Twitter, can do this. But that's standard with every single company. That's probably an okay thing as well, right? Like if somebody me over on YouTube, it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult for me to get it taken down than like Linus Tech Tips, who's probably got like a quicker line to YouTube because they're larger people and there are special liaisons for like different types of figures. That's not special government preferred action, and that's not even necessarily like a bad thing. And it has something to do with government favorability. He also admitted he has the ability to call them. Of all the things I learned earlier today that Substack links are being blocked on this platform. When I asked why, I was told it's a dispute over the new Substack Notes platform. Oh, so he has the ability to ask questions directly as well, which wouldn't surprise me either, because he's like literally in direct contact with Elon Musk, who owns the platform.
Biden campaign could do it. Donald Trump could do it. But I can't do it. Can you do it? I don't think so.
Is that reasonable? Is that... Hold on. Is this guy going to be in Austin? Oh, it's called Minds Fest. Chris Williamson, Matthew Israeli, Peter Bogdosian, Daryl Davis. No, okay. Oh, no, fuck. Where are the Twitter Files guys? Are none of them... Did they all drop out? Oh... Did they all drop out? I think the Leighton guy quit. He emailed me. I don't want to say anything incorrect about him, but... Oh, Schellenberger was supposed to be here too. Fuck. I shouldn't have done that one debate. I am never going into Exxon's offices, having one of their engineers show me what they've done, and then publishing a story on Exxon's platform released on their website. I would never do that. That's called PR. At any point in any of these Twitter threads, was anybody from the FBI contacted and asked for comment?
What you're saying is that what we reported was therefore ipso facto a puff piece for Twitter.
Yes. That's what I think.
I find that like wild and also offensive. Like, do you think we have no integrity?
If I was a journalist, I'm never in my entire life going to write a story about a company based solely on the information the company gives me.
Would you not do a story on the CIA based on records from the CIA?
Absolutely not. You would probably reach out to the people for comment. You would always corroborate. If the CIA released stuff and they said, hey, here's exactly what happened with JFK and here's 7 emails for it or whatever, I wouldn't go, oh, it's settled. And you guys wouldn't either. You would investigate.
I wish I had done that, Destiny. I think I'm totally with you on that.
You didn't answer my question. Why didn't you tell us what were in the URLs? Because it sounds much worse than it is. When you discover that actually it was simply a violation of Twitter's terms of service, that these were nude, non-consensual images for Hunter Biden, why not mention that? Did you not know? In which case, that's kind of incompetent. Or did you know and you were just hiding it from people?
Incompetent?
I mean, if you didn't know, if you put up...
MSNBC. My
Did
God,
you know?
got 6 consecutive years of just screw-ups on the Russia story.
Well, that was predictable. If we're going to do predictable. Can you answer the question? Did you know what was in the URLs when you posted them? It's a simple question.
In the URLs.
Why didn't you tell us?
I don't need to.
Because it's relevant. You don't think it's relevant that it's a violation of Twitter's terms of service to have nude pictures of Hunter Biden up?
Look, every time they make a request to Twitter, they're doing what you're arguing. They're making the argument that, oh, we're not actually asking, this isn't censoring, this is just the government pointing out that
That's
this or
what the
that.
emails show that you posted. They don't demand anything, do they? They say, can you check if this is in line with your terms of...
He shouldn't have let him get away with it. He should have let him keep going on. They do what? Like, they take down dick pics of Hunter Biden? Like, you should have just let him run with that. What do you, like, Jesus. It wouldn't let me choose the correct first mare. I don't think the sniper is good. I think about the 2 Rangers, but for some reason it wouldn't let me click one or the other.
Service. And those URLs...
I kind of wish I could stream this on YouTube as well. I'm literally streaming on YouTube right now, August. You fucking idiot. You fucking moron.
weren't, so I'm wondering why you wouldn't mention that.
First of all, the government, I can't even report that yet. All right. When they're doing this, it's...
Bro, is he retarded? Wait, what is the... Does he not have any, like, media training? Or does he just do, like, behind-the-scenes stuff? Has he given interviews before where it's not just people filleting him? I'm actually shocked. Like, Tate was way better, and he had a really rough interview. What did he expect going into this? Like, these are, like, we haven't even gotten to, like, very hard or difficult questions yet. And he's been doing this consistently. This is, like, his life now. It's like these Twitter files. How is he not ready for anything?
They say, can you check if this is in line with your terms of service? And those URLs weren't. So I'm wondering why you wouldn't mention that.
First of all, the government, I can't even report that yet. All right. When they're doing this, it's self-evident what they're doing. And I don't have to make claims about what it is. I can just show you what they're doing. Everybody knows.
Didn't, Matt.
Listen to these words. Listen to how cult his mind is. Can you hear this? Can you imagine, like, a journalist, okay? A journalist, all right? My goal as a journalist is to show you things that you don't know about. That's what my goal is. I want to dig into companies. I want to find information. I'm going to show you, the people, this shit that I found. And then somebody asks you, like, bro, I mean, like, I don't have to explain. I mean, just look, I don't have to explain anything. What do you mean? It's your job to explain things. That's literally what the fuck you do. That's what you're here for. That's the whole purpose of your existence.
That's the problem. You didn't show the world that the Biden campaign asked for nude images. You didn't. Other people pointed out what those URLs were. You never did. And that's the problem, Matt. There's a lot of omission.
There's a lot that I wrote. Am I going to describe every single thing that I published?
That was the first Twitter file and the most viral tweet. Noam Chomsky, who you know and I know and we like,
which is about a subject you guys screwed up.
Said one of the, we'll come back to that, has said one of the greatest forms of censorship in the media is censorship by omission. You've heard that quote. There's a lot of omission in the Twitter files. A lot you and your colleagues don't tell us. You mentioned in passing, for example, in your very first thread that the Trump White House made requests of Twitter too, i.e. the actual government, not the Biden campaign. But you didn't tell us what those Trump requests were. It took an actual Twitter whistleblower. Well, it took an actual Twitter whistleblower in front of Congress to reveal that Trump once demanded Twitter take down a mean tweet about him from the model Chrissy Teigen. You didn't mention that in any of your Twitter files posts.
Because I didn't have that story. I don't have it.
You didn't? Weren't they in the emails? Weren't you given free reign and access to see anything you wanted? Now, here's I don't know if this journalist is going to get this. The MSNBC guy. Here's a really important question. You said you had access to everything. One is that you're either lying because you had it, you didn't report on it, or two is that Elon Musk didn't give it to you, so you didn't have all the information you thought you did, right? The whole point of the Twitter file is supposed to be that you guys had unrestricted access to every possible thing in the world. And now you're telling me that there's something that was pretty fucking important, the current sitting government administration, and you didn't report on it. Was making requests of Twitter, and you didn't report on it. Why?
Doesn't that tell you something? That you had the Biden story and not the Trump story, that Elon Musk was giving you one side of the story.
No, you don't understand. First of all, that first batch of files resulted in the firing of Twitter's general counsel.
Oh my God.
We were looking at something on a very short time frame, but we didn't have it. I went out of my way to report that fact. I was the first person who reported that Donald Trump made requests and had them honored on Twitter.
But you outlined which ones the Biden team did without giving full context, but you didn't outline which ones the Trump. Well, maybe you should ask yourself why it is you didn't have it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. A lot of your own Twitter files reporting shows top Twitter employees
They don't have it either, by the way. The whistleblower in Congress didn't have it either.
Why would Congress have it?
She did say under oath that this actually happened, so you can accuse her of what you want later.
I don't have to accuse them.
So it sounds like you are. Out of interest, Matt, the emails you show really difficult content moderation decisions. They don't show Twitter rolling over. They show people actually having really interesting discussions, unlike now where Elon Musk just dictates that NPR is state affiliated and it happens overnight. They also show Twitter resisting requests to things that members of Congress have asked them to take down, members of the FBI. So I wonder, how do you call this a censorship industrial complex when Twitter, according to your own files, is saying no a lot of the time? I mean, if it was censorship, they'd have just rolled over every time Agent Chan of the FBI or Congressman Adam Schiff made a demand, but they didn't.
I published an explicit tweet which describes Twitter's internal ads policy, where they say publicly, we are going to represent that we make these decisions at our sole discretion. Internally, we are going to act when the U.S. intelligence agency, the U.S. intelligence community, that's the quote, when the U.S. intelligence community determines that an account is linked to a foreign malign threat actor. So they're talking about their two-faced system in the document. Now, yes.
But your words, Matt, you say, to their credit, they turned down requests. You say it yourself. Those are your words in the Twitter files.
Yeah, they did, but this is a story that has multiple layers to it. The government is constantly
nuanced, applying
pressure to these companies. It starts with a baseline of them not wanting to be engaged at all with the government, or to have a very limited relationship. The door gets kicked open when in 2017, particularly in the fall of 2017, when the Senate Intelligence Committee starts leaning on Twitter to endorse their accusations that there had been a substantial number of bots linked to Russia's Internet Research Agency. And essentially it was made plain to Twitter that they would both be subject to lots of bad press and perhaps increased regulation if they didn't communicate with the Senate Intelligence Committee in the way that they
Understood.
wanted.
But communicating is not rolling over, Matt. All I'm saying is I don't see the evidence. If I saw evidence. They didn't. Adam Schiff says take down a tweet, and they don't, according to your own files.
What's Adam Schiff going to do? Is Adam Schiff the CIA? Is the CIA going to come to Twitter and say?
So
this
do you
is
have
a deal
evidence?
breaker?
So do you have evidence that the CIA demanded a tweet got taken down and they did it immediately? Because I haven't seen it.
Well, we think it's the CIA.
What the fuck? He sounds like a fucking moron. I feel like I'm in Clown Town. I feel like I'm in Clown World right now. There are conservatives in my YouTube chat right now that defend this guy. Are you serious?
Okay.
It feels like a YouTube video essayist went into a mainstream media battle room with no preparation.
So do you have evidence that the CIA demanded a tweet got taken down and they did it immediately? Because I haven't seen it.
Well, we think it's the CIA, quote unquote, other government agencies. We know that the CIA was present.
You think it's the CIA? You began the interview saying you don't make claims. It's just evidence.
I don't know if they're on like a time limit. They must be on a time limit. Because like these are scenarios where like just let him talk. Just be quiet and let him talk because this guy is stumbling hard. Holy shit.
Okay, let's talk about your evidence, Matt, because as I say, people...
Quote me directly if you're going to do this. Quote me directly.
What am I quoting? You just said this. We think it's the CIA.
Yeah, he just asked you.
I haven't seen a single Twitter file
I did.
where the CIA tells Yoel Roth to take it down.
We showed reports that came through the Foreign Interference Task Force. We know it came through the FBI. We know that's the destination by which it came, but the origin of the document we couldn't determine because, and there's lots of these. We have hundreds.
There are lots of these, and Matt, Twitter doesn't deny that they take stuff down.
Tips from Bosch.
Twitter put out a report in
Caroline, and you're going to let me answer the question because you're accusing me of getting this wrong. So these documents. I went out and I talked to every former intelligence person from every agency that I could to try to identify where these documents came from. And I ended up quoting, I think I quoted John Kiriakou and I think one other person is saying that looks about right. Because the people that I talked to thought that this was probably a CIA document, that they thought that it looked like that. It could have been from some other agencies, but I did what I put the document up and I said, this is what it looks like. This is what these people thought it was. I reported that other people talked about OGA. That's.
And I'm not, Matt. Just to be clear, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing any of that. I'm saying there's no evidence that the government is ordering Twitter to take a bunch of stuff down, and Twitter's agreeing to everything. Twitter. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'll let you finish. Let me finish. Twitter put out a report in 2021, as you know, which must shut down, a transparency report where they said the government asked us to take stuff down, and we took down 40% of what we were asked to take down.
Oh. Me, at the end of my conversation with one of the Twitter Files guys and then a couple of the peripheral journalists, that was my suggestion where we agreed. It would like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a transparency report for some of these social media companies where maybe at the end of the year they just say like, oh, the government asked us to take down these things and we did it. And it sounds like they do that. This is already something they do.
They've never denied that they take stuff down. Yeah, I think it's serious. I think if you were right, it would be 100%. The fact that it's not 100%, the majority of stuff they turn down, doesn't tell me there's a censorship complex. I don't understand how it. Do I think it's serious that they take down 40% of stuff? Maybe, but that's not. Nothing you showed suggests. In fact, the agent from the FBI sent emails saying, "Hey, do you mind taking this? Do you mind looking at this and seeing if it's in line with your terms of service?" That is not the police state that I think is being painted by Jim Jordan. By the way, you said about factual inaccuracies, Matt. Let's talk factual inaccuracies. Stanford. You talk a lot about the Election Integrity Project in the Twitter Files, which Stanford and the University of Washington founded to monitor attacks on our elections. And you say some stuff about them that a lot of your critics say is not true, and that affects your credibility. You said the EIP was founded in response to the government dropping its proposal for a disinformation governance. Well, there you are. We're quoting you on screen. It wasn't. It was formed 2 years earlier.
Twitter
you
used to
suggest
report
it was government funded.
Oh, nice. Wait.
It was founded in response to the government dropping its proposal for a disinformation governance. Well, there you are. We're quoting you on screen. It wasn't. It was formed 2 years earlier. You suggest it was government funded, even though during the 2020 election that you're covering, it wasn't. You say they labeled 22 million tweets as misinformation in the run-up to the 2020 vote. They didn't. They flagged 3,000 election misinformation tweets for labeling, so you were only 21,997,000 off. And you also claim the EIP was, let me finish the question, you can come back in. You also claim the EIP was partnered with the government Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, CISA, to censor Twitter, but you mix up CISA, CISA, a Homeland Security Agency, with the Center for Internet Security, the CIS, which is a non-profit. In fact, you added an A to CIS, I think people can see it there, in brackets, to make that false claim. It's just error after error, Matt, on just this one topic.
Error. But the other ones aren't. 22 million number came from their own report.
Yeah, it came from a report in March. Do you know what the 22 million number is, Matt? Can you tell me? Because we checked. 22 million is the number of tweets about election misinformation that they just mapped. How many tweets were they? The ones they actually flagged to Twitter before the election, 22 million came after the election. It wasn't in the run-up. They flagged 3,000. So you were off by 21,997,000. There's another error.
They said a lot of things. I stand by my story.
What the f?
What story? You stand by 22 million were flagged in the run-up to the election.
They said a lot of things, bro.
March 2021, which was after the election.
No, this came in their report after the election.
Which was about some total of tweets that they counted on the election. What they flagged to Twitter was 2,980 tweets, I believe. So that's nowhere near 22 million.
Come on.
Come on, what? You got something wrong. You got CISA wrong. Why did you add A? Okay, Matt, why did you add A in square brackets? Do you understand why people worry about?
I actually thought that.
And why didn't you fix it? We wanted to check the tweet before I came
Almost
on
like
air.
editors are
3
important.
weeks since it was flagged to you. Why not fix it? Do you not have editors at the racket?
I didn't realize
They didn't
that
have
until
editors
now.
for any of these
Okay,
stories.
what about the date? You got the date wrong when it was founded. You said it was founded in response to the disinformation board. That was last year.
Well, because Stamos is saying in the video that we were sort of created to fill the gaps.
No, that's not what you say in the tweet. That's not what you say in the tweet.
The SIO was created in 2008.
No. You say, this is what you say, that the EIP was created after the public uproar paused the disinformation board. That's wrong. You need to correct that as well, don't you?
After the...
That's what your words. You say, to quote you, after public uproar paused the Orwellian Disinformation Governance Board, Stanford created the EIP. That's wrong.
Well, that's what they say.
You don't need sources, Matt. You could check the EIP website. It says it was created in 2020.
Well, that's the date that I just said.
And the Disinformation Board was 2022.
Okay. All right, well, then that is an error.
Okay, so let's talk about Elon Musk. We're talking about Twitter files. You have talked about why you don't want to reveal that he's your source, even though he's basically outed himself as his source. I get that you don't want to reveal your source as you're a journalist, but Barry Weiss has outed him. He's outed himself. What's interesting about Elon Musk is that we checked. You've tweeted over 30 times about Musk since he announced he was going to buy Twitter last April, and not a word of criticism about him in any of those 30-plus tweets. Musk is a billionaire who's been found to have violated labor laws multiple times, including in the past few days. He's attacked labor unions, reportedly fired employees on a whim, slammed the idea of a wealth tax, told his millions of followers to vote Republican last year, and in response to a right-wing coup against Bolivian leftist president Evo Morales, he tweeted, "We'll coup whoever we want." And yet you've been silent on all of that. How did you go, Matt, from being the scourge of Wall Street, the man who called Goldman Sachs the vampire squid, to being unwilling to say anything critical at all about this right-wing reactionary anti-union billionaire?
Hello? Am I still on?
Yes, you're still on. I'm just wondering how come you've never criticized Musk despite all that?
Gotcha.
Look, so I like Elon Musk. I met him. This is part of the calculation when you do one of these stories. Are they going to give you information that's going to make you look stupid? Do you think their motives are sincere about doing X or Y? I didn't. I thought. I mean, I did. I thought his motives were sincere about the Twitter files, and I admired them. I think he did a tremendous public service in opening the files up. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with him about everything. And
Agreed, I agree with you. But you never disagree with him. You've gone silent. People would say that's access journalism.
No. No, I haven't reported anything that limits my ability to talk about Elon Musk.
So will you criticize him today? For banning journalists, for working with Modi government to shut down speech, for being anti-union. You can go for it. I'll give you as much time as you like. Would you like to criticize Musk now?
No, I don't particularly want to. Look, I didn't criticize him really before, and I think that what the Twitter files are is a step in the right direction.
But it's the same Twitter that he's running right now.
I disagree with him. If you want to ask, I think.
Understood, Matt. Well, I'll ask you a specific one.
You ask me this. No.
It's not in bad faith, Matt. Sorry. You say that Twitter... Hold on. Let me finish my question. You're saying that he's good for Twitter and good for speech. I'm saying he's using Twitter to help one of the most right-wing governments in the world censor speech. I will criticize that. Will you?
I have to look at the story first. I'm not looking at it now.
Hold on. I posted the story 2 weeks ago. You tweeted at me.
I don't watch the Mehdi Hasan show.
You do. Actually, you do, because you tweeted at me saying, invite me on the show and I'll tell you my views. Here you are. What is your view? There it is. There it is. Look.
Oh no! It was actually over this exact tweet. Wow, this was done at the request of the Indian government. Apparently, Twitter has blocked the accounts of several high-profile Canadians, including NDP leader Jagmeet Singh and poet Rupi Kaur, from internet users in India. I'm sure Taibbi is all over this. Why don't you invite me on your show to talk about it, since you're so absolutely sure of what I'll say? What the Why?
Yeah, and you said, look, we'll read your words. Why don't you invite me on your show to talk about it, since you're so absolutely sure of what I'll say? You're right, I'm not sure. What is your view on Musk working with Modi to censor speech?
That's what you ask him about the particulars about it. But listen, this came up the first time. I think it was Twitter Files number 6, when you said after this was a big one that we had done about the relationship between Twitter, the FBI, and the DHS. And as that story came out, you were giving me a hard time about tweeting through it, I think was the quote. Essentially, You said, you don't, so essentially, you're arguing that this information was not in the public interest, that I somehow shouldn't have done this story that I'd worked hard on.
I worked hard on it.
Elon Musk tweeted something? You don't think that story
No, I said
was
he banned journalists. I think hold on, Matt. If you're doing a story about free speech on Twitter and the head of Twitter bans journalists, yeah, I think most people... By the way, Barry Weiss, your partner in crime on that, your colleague, your reporter, sorry for that euphemism, your reporting colleague, she actually did call him out. So it's weird that Barry Weiss had more integrity on that, some might argue, your critics might say, than you did. Look, we're running out of time. You don't want to talk about India, that's fine. You can go away and research it, but you volunteered to come on the show to talk about it. I got to ask you about the clip on Joe Rogan. You've seen the clip. It was mentioned at Congress. I do want to get your response to it. Can we play the clip of you telling Joe Rogan about how you should deal with sources who give you information? Let's play that clip.
With any kind of journalist, like once you start getting handed things, then you've lost. You know what I mean? They have you at that point. And you got to get out of that habit, you know? It's like, or you can't cross that line.
So per your own words, Matt, you crossed that line and Musk has you. Those are your words.
The hilarity of this coming from MSNBC, which did nothing but vomit up fake Russiagate stories that came straight from the FBI for 6 consecutive years that you guys still haven't apologized for.
Great. I wasn't there in that period, so I've got nothing to apologize. I'm asking you your words. Did you cross a line? It's a very simple question. You can what about and deflect. It's a simple question. We played a clip for you. I'm giving you a chance to answer. Did you cross the line? Your words.
No, I did not. The stories are self-contained stories that hold up in themselves. And what I was talking about in the Joe Rogan story, I was quoting a passage from Seymour Hersh's book, Reporter, when he was talking about when he was given a story by the CIA about an Israeli spy that they had caught. And he was saying something to the effect of, I, who had always gotten the material, was being handed the material. So, yeah, it sounds bad, but this stuff is clearly in the public interest. It's real, it's true, and I'm doing the best I can to report it. The question is, the test you always have with your sources is whether or not this stuff is in the public interest and whether it's accurate. And apparently I've gotten like one thing wrong or a few things wrong, but mostly I think these stories are going to hold up over the test of time, unlike your Russiagate story.
Russiagate.
So let me ask you this, Matt, and you're going to say this is a bad faith question, but let me just be clear. I'm not questioning your work ethic. You keep saying, you seem to be offended. I'm sure you work very hard. I was a big fan of yours for many years. I've always admired your writing. And which is why I have to ask this last question, which you're going to say in bad faith, but I promise it is. It's genuinely as a former fan. You tweeted in response to Jim Jordan, and you started the interview saying, oh, my journey. You have been on a journey for many of us. You said it was an honor. Thank you, Chairman Jim Jordan. It was an honor. A lot of people think that sounded a bit fawning to one of the most right-wing members of Congress. Later, you meet Ted Cruz.
I don't think it's an honor to be invited to Congress.
Who calls you a true patriot. He calls you a true patriot, and you're all looking very intense in that picture. I wonder, when you met Ted Cruz, did you tell Ted Cruz that how you wrote in 2015 that he has, quote, big doses of Tea Party energy, and in 2018 that he's like an incurable skin condition? Do you understand why, Matt, those people who have read your stuff find it amazing now, the people you are?
Ted Cruz knows what I've written about him over the years. He knows that I talked about him as, I described him as having a face like a waterlogged Reagan mask sewn together at gunpoint. He knows all that stuff, but that's the
Twitter
point.
files.
This is America. We don't have to agree all the time. I don't have to like them these people all the time. They're on this issue. They're giving oxygen to something that I think is important, that I think a lot of people is important. And if he wants to meet me, that's fine. If Jim Jordan wants me to come talk in front of Congress, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to answer questions. If I'm wrong about something, I'm happy to answer that too. But
I guess where we disagree is
that I'm committing some kind of a capital offense by testifying in Congress about my own reporting, answering questions factually, and meeting these people is ridiculous.
I guess where we disagree, Matt.
It is an honor to talk to Congress. It was an honor to talk to Congress, and I'm proud that I did that.
I mean, not every congressional committee is an honor to appear in front of. I'm pretty sure it wasn't an honor to be invited when people were invited to the House Un-American Activities Committee. I mean, this is the point, Matt. The context, we're out of time, sadly, but the context is that the Republicans, are banning books and threatening the press. Ron DeSantis is threatening to get rid of anonymous sources.
Again,
and you're telling us
mentioning something that I didn't write about. How many things
I didn't say you wrote about it. Well, exactly. That's the problem, that you seem to think the Democrats, not the Republicans, are a big threat to speech, and I just don't see it. I wish we had more time to get into that.
Democrats
but we spent a lot of time.
Are you crazy? I mean, you don't think the Democrats are a threat to speech? Have you been paying attention?
Yes, I think all politicians are a threat to speech. But in this country, if you think the Republican Party is not the biggest threat to speech, then I don't know what to say to you. Maybe you should log off a bit and go to Florida. We'll have to disagree on that. I think the black voter who was arrested in Florida, or the woman arrested for taking an abortion pill, might not say that Cat Turd 2 being de-amplified was the biggest story of the year. But we will have to leave it there, Matt. Thank you for appearing on the show.
What about your Hunter Biden story?
Appreciate your time. I don't think I've ever written about the Hunter Biden story, so maybe you should apologize to me for putting words in my mouth. You said at the beginning I put words. I never said a word about the Hunter Biden story, but we will be right back.
Jesus Christ. This wasn't live, right? Why not just book like an hour or two for an interview like this? Oh my God.